Hi, everyone. It's Hunter Lott, your HR problem solver on demand. And this is Take 5 from our series, Please Sue Me, AI and the ADA. We've been talking recently about AI along with everyone else, as we look at this amazingly powerful tool and how it may change how we do business. The EEOC has also been looking, and they've looked at various softwares and algorithms and kind of before we got to this kind of level of sophistication, and how that interrelates with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Remember, the ADA, reasonable accommodation. Did I, as an employer, provide a reasonable accommodation to a known disability up to the standard of undue hardship? There's few very hard and fast lines, which means we have to exercise some leadership and determine, okay, did we provide a reasonable accommodation up to the standard of undue hardship? If whatever tool we may be relying on has the net effect of screening people out because of their disability, then we run into trouble with the law. Would the employer be responsible if they used an outside source, purchased it, it was validated, found reliable, and the action is pretty much yes. If you're using it and the net effect, for whatever reason, that you're screening out, then the employer can be held accountable. Examples of screening out in terms of the ADA, you have softwares designed to engage in communication or to analyze either a conversation or analyze a resume, and you find a significant gap in employment, which in some cases can be a red flag. But this outside machine throws it out and says, nope, I'm not going to consider it. I'm going to screen it out. Well, if the gap was caused by treatment for a disability, you could be held accountable. Another kind of screening out would be if you're analyzing someone's speech patterns and they have some kind of impediment with their speech. They can still do the job, but the machine may throw them out. Remember, reasonable accommodation up to undue hardship. Now, the ADA has already changed kind of our approach. We used to ask in interviews, is there anything that would keep you from doing your job as outlined, which is now an ADA violation? Or we run that risk. Better question. Can you perform the essential functions of this job with or without reasonable accommodation? Yes or no? So we still get the information we need, but the ADA has made us, change our approach, which I love. Without the ADA, baseball parks, other arenas, the library, we wouldn't have all the accessibility that we have now. The EEOC encourages all of us as employers to take a look at our policies and practices to make sure they're not screening out. Suggestions, if I'm you, what do I do? I look at, okay, if the tool requires applicants or employees to engage in some kind of interface, did the vendor or I make the interface acceptable to as many people as possible? Are the materials presented? Are there alternative formats for someone who might need it? Did the vendor attempt to determine if anybody with disadvantages for the disabilities because of how or when they took a various test or whatever the program was? Clearly indicate that reasonable accommodations, including alternative formats, are available, very clear instructions. Let them know, and some of the states have stepped in and says you have got to let them know that this is what we're using and this is how we're using it. A little common sense now will go a long way. Thanks for watching. Check out all our resources at hunterlott.com. We'll see you next time on Take 5.